since the Houston fight. So, what are your thoughts? Just 48 hours out from one of the bigger nights in UK MMA history, I would imagine.
Yeah, card's great. I mean, I'm in a great place right now, mentally and physically, and I mean, I'm back where first of all I had my last win, and it was my debut. I'm back in my own country. I've got all my family, my friends around me, and I'm in a great place. I'm very very happy, and I'm just ready to fight and put on a performance. Saturday night.
You're obviously fighting Makwan Amirkhani on Saturday. What did you make of him as an opponent? A guy, I think a lot of fans they see his knockouts, but he obviously has very high level grappling as well, a lot of submissions, and you obviously have a very high level wrestling and grappling base too. Typically, when we see these two high level grapplers, it can turn into a striking match, like historic, like Matt Hughes would fight like Josh Koscheck. That would happen, for example. So, what do you make of his skill set in the octagon all around?
Yeah, he's got great skills. I mean, it is a great fight. And like you said, sometimes two wrestlers end up, striking much more. Mainly probably because of our ego a little bit as well, because I don't want to get took down. I don't want to fail a takedown. I don't want him to take me down, So sometimes our ego a little bit, You've seen it with Colby and Kamara.
Yeah.
They didn't really attack too much in the first fight. So I think that's what happens, and that's why they end up striking more. But yeah, Makwan's got good skill set. He's got similar chokes to me on the ground, and that's what's going to make it a great fight on the night. I think he's gone under the radar a little bit, and I think people's going to be surprised when they see us walk out on the night, and they're going to be excited to see that fight, and we're going to put on a performance, I presume.
So confident in your hands against Makwan, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking from my last fight a little bit more. Coming up against somebody like Lando Vanato was my last fight, and he's an exceptional striker. He's world class in striking. He's come up against some great guys, and I hurt him. I hurt him on the feet. I definitely did hurt him with a couple of right hands. So that's the kind of confidence I'm going to be taking to this fight. I'm going to put the pressure on. I'm going to get the finish.
And finally, I asked Molly this just before you came out. Back stateside, we hear about this golden era of MMA in the UK right now, presently. So can you feel that right now during fight week from the fans? I mean, they haven't had a card since 2019, and now they're getting the stacked card for their return.
Yeah, the last card here was 2019 again, where I had my debut. So I had that feeling of my debut. I was excited all week, and I was buzzing because it was my debut, and I'm getting that same feeling again. And yeah, it's one of the best cards they put on in the UK ever. I think looking at this card, there's a lot of big names on it, and Tom, my teammate, Tom Aspinall, he's headlining, so that's nice again. I've been here before when Till headlined. But the results I think are going to come this time. I think because obviously last time we didn't get 2 results, but this time I think we'll get the 2 results.
Mike, just to the back here. Obviously, you are coming off of those 2 losses. They didn't go your way. Do you approach this fight any differently? As you have done in the past?
I don't approach it any differently, and I'll be honest. This fight is so much more than me keeping my job off the 2 losses. This fight is to put on a performance for my dad. Sadly, my dad has been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he's going to be there cage side watching me, on the night, and that is what it means to me. There is absolutely no chance that this guy's going to put me away on Saturday night. You could put me in with the heavyweights on the main event, and they won't put me away either, because I'm there to put on a performance in front of my dad, and that is what it means to me, and that's the main thing. I'm going to dedicate this fight and this win to my dad.
Has that given you any extra motivation then going into this one?
Yeah, it's not going to put any extra pressure on me, if that's what you're thinking. But it has definitely given me much more motivation. It's given me, it's lit a fire in my belly, and I'm very excited for the fight, but I'm very angry for the fight as well, and I feel that's going to bring the best out of me.
And in terms of training for this, have you approached training for this any differently? Having had those 2 losses, is there anything that you've taken away from those that you've maybe made improvements?
I mean, yeah, obviously I've, coming off 2 losses. I think coming off losses, the first person you need to look at is yourself. I think a lot of people do it wrong. They start changing gyms, they start changing weights and things like that. But I sat down and I thought about it to myself, and I changed the fact that obviously I train in Liverpool, which I'm travelling 4 hours a day to get to, because I train twice a day, I'm going to and from. So I moved into Liverpool this time and made sure my recovery was perfect. And I feel that's helped me a lot. So I just literally moved away from my family for the last 5-6 weeks of my camp, and made sure I made that sacrifice. And I just lived, eat and sleep, breathe, training. That was it.
And last one for me, what do you think you can expect to see from Makwan on Saturday night?
You know, I mean, he is a little bit hit and miss, Makwan. You know, I think he's sometimes he turns up, sometimes he doesn't. We'll see, but it doesn't matter what kind of Makwan's going to turn up because I am turning up and I am getting that win.
Thank you.
Mike, this fight back here at the back, this fight was originally part of the ill-fated 2020 London card. And did you ever in your wildest dreams think you would get it back 2 years later with the fans back and all this attention?
I mean, I've looked at Makwan even before I got into the UFC. He fought people I knew, you know, and I've always watched him. So I always, you know, envisioned that I was going to fight this guy. I don't know why, maybe because he had good wrestling and I knew I had good wrestling. I always thought we'd come up and get a match against each other. But yeah, obviously I got a match against him in 2020, a week before. You know, he got cancelled because of the COVID. But I'm happy it's come back round again. It's a fight I've always wanted, and it's obviously a fight we've got now, and I'm happy about that, yeah.
How different a fighter is he from the Makwan Amirkhani of 2 years ago?
I mean, obviously he's coming in with quite a bit of pressure, you know, 3 losses. Probably I'd say he should have won a couple of those fights. You know, he fought a guy who was on a debut and took it late, and he lost to that guy, I can't remember his name, and then obviously Eberset Beb also, you know, it's a great fight, and there's no shame in losing to that guy. But and then Laurent Murphy obviously knocked him out, and it was quite a bad knockout. So he's probably coming in with a bit of pressure this fight. I think he's definitely a different fighter to a couple of years ago.
The last one for me. I know media and fans, we make a big deal about having the hometown advantage and fighting at home here in England. I mean, obviously the fans are going to be loud and behind you come Saturday night, but how much of a factor is that in a fight for you?
Yeah, I thrive off that. I mean, obviously, me walking out for my debut, like I said, a few years ago, I'll have that same feeling again. I'm getting the same feeling now, fight week. You know, everything's similar. I've got that excitement, and I think it's going to be the same on the night. I think it's going to be even better this time. Last time I was first on. You know, this time it looks like I'm the last one on the prelims so far. Looking at the card, so there's going to be more fans. You know, I've got my teammate on. There's another. You know, there's a lot of people. Obviously, there's one half of the card's pretty much British, so I'm presuming all their fans are going to be there too, and they're going to be screaming for me as well. So I think I'm going to thrive off that attention. I'm going to thrive off that loudness, and I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime.
Hey, Mike, just down here. How you doing?
I'm going great, thanks, mate.
So you alluded to this a little bit in one of your previous question and answers, but my colleague Nick P on the Fight Disciples podcast this week also mentioned how you used to travel like 4 hours just for training, and you know it wasn't allowing you to recover the way that you wanted to. So obviously now you've got a flat and you're living closer to the gym. Are you already reaping the benefits of that right now? And how much of that do you think that will be a factor coming into the fight this weekend?
I think it's a big factor, yeah. You know, your recovery, obviously as I'm getting older as well, I mean, your recovery is so important. I can train as hard as anyone in the gym, but if I'm not doing the right recovery, then I don't think it's great. So, yeah, recovery, and like I said, my sleep's been good. I mean, I've got 3 kids, but I've got 2 young kids at home, and they're climbing into bed at the middle of the night, you know what I mean? So I'm getting woke up in the middle of the night. Broken sleep for an athlete who's training 4 to 5 hours per day is not good. So I've had none of that. You know, it's been tough leaving my family. I love my family, and you know, my wife's been great. She's you know, sacrificed everything she's had to sacrifice too to make sure she can look after the kids and make sure she's there for me. And it's been fantastic, and I feel I'm cutting weight right now, but I feel great. I feel, you know, ready to go into my last bit of my weight cut tomorrow and fight Saturday. I'm feeling great.
And it was only a couple of fights ago that you were on a 9-fight win streak. So how excited are you to remind the world who Mike Grundy is again?
Exactly, yeah. You know, that is, you know, I'm going in with a bit of a chip on my shoulder really on Saturday night because, you know, like I said, this fight's gone under the radar. I feel like I've gone under the radar a little bit. You know, I know I'm coming off 2 losses, but there was close fights. There was great fights. So yeah, I'm going in to make a statement and, like I said, put on a great performance.
And just my final question, and on a bit of a lighter note, what's your most favourite thing to do after you fight?
After the fight, eat. I mean, this time I'm going to stay. I didn't stay in London last time I fought here, but I'm staying in London. You know, I'm going to spend some time with my dad and my family up in London, just a couple of days, and I've made sure I've searched out some of the best restaurants. We're going to American Diner on Sunday daytime. We're going to eat there and get a big burger, I think.
Good luck on Saturday night.
Thanks very much, mate.
Hi, Mike. Here.
Aye, mate.
Makwan is very well known for his anaconda choke. How many times have you watched him doing that, and how prepared are you for it?
Yeah, I've seen him obviously do it quite a bit, and I'm very prepared for it because he's got the similar cut choke that I use as well. I love an anaconda choke, I love a dash choke, I love a guillotine. It's no secret. And again, my ego kicking. I don't think I'll get caught with my type of chokes either. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for them. That everyone?
Mike, just a quick one.
Yeah.
It's the 20-year anniversary of the first ever UFC London event this year, the Brawl in the Hall. On that night, Ian Freeman was in a very similar position to yourself. His dad was, in the hospital with a terminal illness.
Yeah.
He actually stole the show. He produced the performance of his life, stopped Frank Mir, and it went down in UK MMA folklore as the coming out party.
Yeah.
Is the stage set for you to do something very similar? Will history repeat itself? Can you set a tone and really push on for this next stage of UK MMA?
I think I definitely can. And I didn't know that about Ian Freeman. Obviously, I knew he fought in the UFC and stuff, but I didn't actually know that. But it does, having that thing in the back of your mind, and my dad's gonna be sat there. He's gonna be there cage side. To have him there, and we don't know how many more really he's gonna be able to be there for, is special to me, and it definitely lights a fire in my belly, and it definitely is going to bring out a different animal in me. It definitely is, and hopefully that's going to be a performance of the night. Bonus to add as well. Everyone okay? Yeah. Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you.